Welcome back to the channel. Tonight, we are leaving behind the beaches and the fiestas and stepping into the shadows of the Philippines, a place where history, tragedy, and folklore collide. This is a land where the dead walk among the living, where monsters lurk in the forests, and where roads and ruins hide spirits that refuse to rest. These are the ghost stories of the Philippines, and they are far more real than you think. White ladies, every culture has its restless spirits, but in the Philippines, one ghost towers above them all, the White Lady. She is always dressed in flowing white, with long black hair covering her face, and she almost always appears where she shouldn't, in the backseat of a taxi, or standing silently on a lonely road. The most infamous of these phantoms is the White Lady of Balete Drive, a narrow street in Quezon City lined with old trees. Taxi drivers tell of picking up a young woman in white late at night. She enters quietly, but when they glance in the rearview mirror, her face is pale, sometimes bloodied, her eyes empty. Some drivers claim they drop her off only to find the back seat empty. Others say they've nearly crashed when she suddenly appears in the middle of the road. But she doesn't haunt Manila alone. In the mountain city of Baguio, drivers speak of the White Lady of Loacan Road. Here, she materializes on misty nights, sometimes waving for a ride, other times causing accidents by appearing right in front of moving cars. No one knows who she really was. Some say a jilted lover, others a victim of violence. But her legend persists, reminding travelers that the road itself might be watching. War and tragedy ghosts. The Philippines has been shaped by centuries of conflict, and where there is war, there are restless spirits. In Baguio, the ruins of the Diplomat Hotel still stand. Once a quiet hilltop monastery, it became a refugee shelter during World War II, only to witness unspeakable horrors when Japanese soldiers slaughtered priests, nuns, and civilians inside. Visitors today swear they hear the cries of children echoing through the empty hallways. Some claim to see headless monks wandering the ruins, clutching their rosaries as though still praying in death. In Manila's old walled city of Intramuros, the ghosts of war linger underground. Locals tell of headless Japanese soldiers who roam the tunnels at night, still carrying their weapons. Some hear boots marching when no one is there, or whispers in Japanese carried through the dark. Further north in Pampanga, the abandoned Clark Air Base Hospital is considered one of the most haunted places in Asia. Once used by the U.S. military, its halls are said to echo with the moans of dying soldiers. Ghostly nurses have been spotted tending to invisible patients, and shadowy figures cross the corridors only to vanish when approached. These spirits are not just folklore. They are echoes of trauma, proof that war doesn't end when the last bullet is fired. Supernatural beings, but not in all Philippine horrors, are the souls of the dead. Some legends speak of creatures that stalk the living, half human and half monster. The most infamous of them all is the Aswang. To outsiders, it sounds like a vampire, but to Filipinos, it is much more. The Aswang can shapeshift, sometimes a beautiful woman by day, a winged monster by night. It preys on pregnant women and children, drinking blood or devouring organs. For centuries, communities have blamed sickness, miscarriages, and mysterious deaths on the Aswang. Even today in remote villages, the word alone can spread fear. Then there is the Tiyanak, the demon child of Philippine legend. It lures travelers by crying in the forest, sounding like an abandoned baby. But when someone tries to rescue it, the creature reveals its monstrous form and attacks, often with teeth and claws far too sharp for an infant. The Tik-tik and Wak-wak are bird-like creatures whose cries at night are said to signal death. Their eerie calls, once heard, mean someone nearby will not live long. And then there is Maria Labo, a far more recent tale. She was once a loving mother, until a curse or illness turned her into a cannibal. In her frenzy, she killed her own children. When she returned to her senses and realized what she had done, her face split in two, half human, half monstrous. Today, stories of Maria Labo resurface in villages where people whisper of a pale woman with a ruined face wandering at night. These beings may not be ghosts in the Western sense, but they haunt the imagination of the Philippines, blurring the line between myth and nightmare. Haunted nature. The Philippines is a land of mountains and forests, and many of its ghosts dwell not in cities, but in the wilderness. The Balete tree, a type of banyan, is feared and revered. To cut one without permission is to invite misfortune. People believe spirits live within its twisted roots, from restless souls to the Kapre, a cigar-smoking giant who watches from the branches. Travelers at night sometimes feel a heavy presence or see glowing embers high in the tree, only to realize it's the Kapre's cigar staring back. Then there is Mount Cristobal in Laguna, known as the Devil's Mountain. Unlike its neighbor Mount Banahaw, a holy site for pilgrims, Cristobal has the opposite reputation. Hikers speak of disembodied voices, sudden chills, and even being led astray by phantom lights. Some believe the mountain itself rejects intruders, guarding secrets best left undiscovered. Here, nature itself becomes the ghost, and the land reminds you who is truly in control. Religious and folk legend, the Philippines is deeply Catholic, and its churches are not free from haunting. One recurring figure is the headless priest. In old towns, worshippers claim to see priests walking the aisles after midnight, holding candles or rosaries, their heads missing. Some say these are priests executed during revolts or wartime. Others think they are simply souls trapped in service even after death. Then there is Siquijor, an island forever linked with sorcery. While not all tales are ghostly, the island's reputation for witchcraft is so strong that people whisper of spirits summoned by healers, of curses carried on the wind, and of unseen beings that follow outsiders after dark. And in Baguio once more, a teacher's camp has its own hauntings. Visitors hear footsteps in empty dormitories, see apparitions of children in abandoned classrooms, and feel cold drafts in rooms that should be sealed. These stories reveal that in the Philippines, faith and fear walk hand in hand. The church can be a place of salvation or of restless souls. The Philippines is a nation alive with stories, where ghosts are not locked away in horror films, but spill into everyday life, from the roads of Manila to the forests of Mindanao, from war-scarred ruins to sacred mountains. The dead remain close. For Filipinos, these tales are not just entertainment. They are warnings, memories, and cultural inheritance. A way to explain the unexplained and a way to remind the living of history's shadows. So the next time you wander down a dark Philippine road or pass by a twisted balete tree, remember, you are never truly alone. And if you see a woman in white standing by the roadside, whatever you do, don't stop. The Philippines carries its ghosts like it carries its history, in plain sight, woven into everyday life. For some, they're legends to frighten children. For others, they're all too real. The only question is, if you found yourself on a dark Philippine road at night, would you keep driving? Or would you dare to look in the rearview mirror?